On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick return to their trooper tier list for part 2 of their rankings. This time they'll evaluate troopers from the Mandoverse, sequel trilogy, and legends. Stay tuned to see where these troopers will get placed. You'll also get a M3GAN 2.0 review and answers to this week's Ask Them Anything. Of course, they'll end the show with a question of week responses and the latest round of top 5. Star Wars fan artist features. Punch it, Chewie. Hey! Now, everybody, welcome back to the Star Wars Time Show in a holiday week here in the States. So much to celebrate in this fantastic country these days. I was just telling Nick, I just dropped the G unit on explosives to terrorize my neighborhood and their dogs and little kids. You know, it's the American thing to do. So happy, whatever the hell we want. What is this? Independence Day.
Yes.
Yay. Maybe we'll be celebrating a new one of these a few years down the road. But anyways, we don't do that type of shit here in the Star Wars Time Show. We're trying to palate cleanse your brains from the real world. So welcome to anyone that may be new here to this little dumpy show about Star Wars pop culture. You never know what will be coming out of these pie holes. But you got to stay tuned. You can always follow us, hit our Discord. We got a free join link in the description of this video. You never know, young Nick might drop one of his new creations, AI creations. He's becoming a VO3 overlord. He's got a little battle between myself and him in chibi style, and then a more realistic version he just dropped on our Discord today. So if you want to check those out, hit that link down below in this description. While you're down there, check out that join the channel button. You know, we love subscribers too, but we love those that pay us even more. So if you want to become a channel member, make sure to hit that button down low. You can do so for as low as $1.99 and get all the sweet stuff next to your name, even though none of our diehards are in here. None of the paying crowd is in here. Outside of my man Kramer, we can always rely on him dropping a tip. We appreciate you, young Michael. And now I will give the floor to the hero of the Discord this past week, young Nick.
Hey, there we
Young
go.
Nick,
So
address
yes,
your fans.
as Matt said, if you want to keep up with some of the AI videos I've been putting out, they're only going to be 8 seconds long because I don't have $250 a month to spend on Gemini Ultra Edition, where you can do longer videos. So, you know, for the mere cost of $20 a month, I can make 3 VEO 8-second videos a day. So pop in the Discord. I actually just threw a new one in there of a more realistic looking fight. Obviously, there's some good stuff that you can do with the new VEO3 software. So if you are new to AI, or if you are looking for a cool little image in video generator, I would suggest VEO3 for sure. In addition to that, before we jump into anything else, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of the Star Wars Time Show, W Energy Drinks, W.GG. If you are interested in a jitterless energy drink, go to W.GG, find the energy flavor of your choice, and then at checkout use code SWTS for a nice little discount. This one I have here is the Oda Block sponsored one. So one of their big content creators, Oda Block, was able to make his own flavor, and this one is the tart flavor, super fruity tart flavor. And I gotta say, it's not too tart, and it really does kind of taste like Jolly Rancher-esque. So if you're a big fan of if you're a big fan of like Jolly Rancher flavor, this is definitely some good stuff. So right there, W.GG, when you check out, use code SWTS for a nice little discount, and it helps support the show.
What sort of caffeine punch is in that one, Nick?
Honestly, it's not that bad. So I got a little half scoop in here right now, and it doesn't like send me crazily over the edge or anything like that.
Yeah, we'll see
I
if he
did a whole
starts spinning
scoop.
out like 30 minutes from now. He's like, I got ants in my pants, motherfucker.
That's right.
You see him running and
That's
smokes
right.
come from his feet.
Yeah. So yeah,
uh,
check it out there. But yeah, not too bad in terms of
cool.
the
All right.
caffeine amounts in there and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
like
So
he
check it
said,
out.
if you want to support the channel in a different way, you know, maybe you don't want to join the Discord, or you don't want to join the channel membership for $2 a month, you could buy yourself some energy drinks from w.gg SWTS at checkout. I want to address this real quick, Nick, before we get in this week's Ask Us Anything. We do that segment every week. You just got to be following us on socials, look for the prompt, and lay down those questions. And no, they do not have to be Star Wars related. All right, Devin Doty, this is a great point here. He's saying, Matt, I saw someone with the screen name Haywood Jablomi this week. LOL. Yes, my last name is very useful when it comes to jokes like that. In fact, here's the funny thing. Never heard that joke until I was a freshman in high school. Just moved from Pittsburgh to Columbus, Ohio. I was on the football team as a freshman, scrimmaging against the seniors. We had to wear our names on our helmet, and instantly this fat fuck named Chris the Buddha was immediately, Haywood, like, Haywood, you blow me? It's like, yeah, so there's a, Haywood, go fuck yourself. Haywood, go blow your mom. I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff with my last name. I don't care as long as you spell and say my name correctly. Most people want to spell it Hay, but the real idiots out there, the troglodytes, the uneducated, the Southerners, they will say Hayward, which I have never figured out. I don't know where you get an R from WOOD, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Smith knows exactly. He saw the dubbing of the Haywood Jablomi. He's been with me through this mental trauma that mean people and politically incorrect people have put me through since I was 14. No wonder I'm a fucking mess. Yeah, wash my clothes. Yeah, wash. I mean, that's kind of an East Coast thing. Water. It's water. Okay, you waterheads. All right. Here we go. How about a little Ask Us Anything? We didn't have many questions this week. That's fine. We've got our part 2 of our major topic from last week. We were tier ranking all or most of the Stormtrooper variants from the Star Wars saga. Last week we covered the prequels, Solos, the Rogue Ones, the Bad Batches, the Kenobis, and the OT. This week we're covering Mandoverse, sequel trilogy, and Legends. And based on the chat on our Discord, people have zero excitement for part 2. So, unfortunately, Nick, it looks like this was a dud topic. Both weeks have not hit too well. But you got to do what you got to do when literally the people in charge of Star Wars are not putting out any new Star Wars. So you're stuck with our dumbasses.
We gotta fill the time.
You've got to, a lot of hot air from us over just random Star Wars topics over the coming months. But I can already tease what we're going to do next week. We are going to get away from tier listing, finally, because those are kind of nosediving. And we're going to do one that could be a little inflammatory to some people out there, unless you have an open mind and an open heart when it comes to public discourse. But we've counted so far 15 mistakes that we can credit to George Lucas when it comes to Star Wars. So I'll tease that right there. That's what we'll be doing next week. Same time, same place. If you want to catch the live, Wednesdays, 5:30 p. Eastern, as close as we can get, youtube.com/Star Wars Time Show. I almost sound like a professional broadcaster sometimes. Did you ever notice that, Nick? I like cut promos. I don't do a lot of uhs and likes and ums. Sometimes it's like we actually know what we're doing over here. Yeah. All right. We just need a Fred to play music for us, because now we're cutting over to Ask Us Anything. All right. First question. We can always rely on our diehards in Discord to give us some questions, young Nick. That is a bonus of the rabid fans here. So Baron is asking this week, thoughts on the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, picking up the Marvel Legends Green Goblin mask this weekend. And as a side note, apparently Sony is releasing the trilogy in theaters in September. So Nick, what are your memories of the first ever decent live action Spider-Man trilogy?
For me, it was definitely enjoyable seeing the first movie. It came out when I was pretty young. I think that came out when I was in like 8th grade. So I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was the first, like really the first foray. I mean, you can add in X-Men into there too, the first X-Men movie and X2. Like those were really the first 3 movies that were like, hey, superhero movies can be super, super good. Um, Same thing going into Spider-Man 2, just another proof point that there can be some really awesome stuff that comes out of superhero films, especially like popular superheroes like Spider-Man. And then Spider-Man 3 maybe wasn't as great as the other two.
The
But 1 and
symbiote
2
suit.
awesome.
What was it? Symbiote suit Peter, where he's a little goofy. You know, he's got
Yeah.
that dance move. He like walks through the streets like he's, you know, a pimp dog. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm kind of with Nick. It's like although if you go back and rewatch them based on modern comic book movies, you are a little bit like, I don't know. But listen, the fact that Tobey's been canonized in the MCU through the latest Spider-Man, sounds like we might see them again. It just goes to show you the staying power of Raimi's trilogy. I think Nick is correct. Obviously, the first one was kind of groundbreaking. I think it was the first comic book movie, maybe even more so than the X-Men he was throwing out there, that people are like, holy shit, I think they nailed it. They nailed the villain, the hero, the cast was great, the acting was great, the costumes look good. 2 again was pretty solid, and then 3 was Sandman and Venom and all that weird shit. Definitely jumped the shark, as they say. So there you go. Doubt I'm going to be going to see it again in theaters, though. There, Spencer. All right, Kramer coming at us. He's always, I mean, this guy loves football. There's no doubt about it. Big Mikey C down there. Thoughts on getting Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith? All right, real quickly. This is mostly for me here, Nick. I think you can get involved on the last one. Listen, the Steelers are clearly desperate. I know everyone this week, some talking heads are applauding this as going all in. All in on what? All you're doing is fucking taking on massive contracts for old, washed players. I mean, DK Metcalf is not worth $30 million a year. Jalen Ramsey is not worth $30 million a year. I mean, cool. Let's empty out the coffers. Let's bring in all this talent. Let's do this Aaron Rodgers experiment for 1 year, and hopefully it blows up in everyone's faces like I know it will. There's no shot in hell the Steelers win a playoff game this year. Take it to the bank. I don't care what players they get in that organization until Tomlin is gone, until the Rooney kids stop milking the fan base. That organization has become just as buffoonish as most other NFL organizations. The standard is no longer the standard. Pittsburgh Steelers are not the 6th Super Bowl type of winning organization that they pretend they used to be. All right, next is Jeremiah Smith that good of a wide receiver? Where the fuck were you last season watching him play as a true freshman? Yes. Jeremiah Smith could have went probably number 1 overall in the NFL draft as a 19-year-old. So I don't love that he's talking shit about Michigan already. I love the confidence, but knowing how much this team has struggled against Michigan the past 4 years, I don't give him bulletin board material that you're not going to lose to him over your final 2 years, young man. That's a little dangerous unless you know you can back it up, even though it looks like Michigan is getting outed for even more corruption around rape and allegations that Harbaugh knew about. So as everyone figured, Michigan is scummy, crappy, probably shouldn't have won their national championship, and they probably should be penalized into oblivion. Thank you. Last question. What do you think? What do you think's better for a 4th of July movie, Independence Day or The Patriot, Nick?
Independence Day for me. That's definitely my go-to. It's more fun. You know, you're not looking back on real U.S. history, and we all know that real U.S. history is, you know, sucky. It's always just like a kind of a slog to watch through, even though the Patriot's a good movie, but I would rather watch Will Smith punching aliens in the face and blowing up spaceships than watch The Patriot.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll go even further. Both of these guys have turned into fucking puke vomits that don't deserve support from any human. I mean, what Will Smith did to Chris Rock, and now what he's saying many years later, walk around like, yeah, basically it made me a better man for slapping that dude for no reason. I mean, If you go look at Will Smith trying to launch new music and people being completely disinterested. I mean, Will Smith's charm is gone. You can't just get up and fucking punch people because you don't like the jokes they're making, you loser. Now, he's not nearly as bad as Mel Gibson. I mean, Mel Gibson is just a vile human who really doesn't deserve to work anymore in Hollywood. But hey, so what? Everyone's free in America, especially if you're a white, angry Christian Catholic man. So I would say find a better movie than either one of those, Kramer. There you go. I don't know. Go outside and light off fireworks. I think that's the best way to celebrate Independence Day. Okay, next. Coming from Based and Brazen. Nick, you start with this one. I'm getting tired of talking already. What's the best and then your worst restaurant experience?
That's a good question. So my best restaurant experience, that's a hard one to pick out. So here's one that I'll throw out there. Taylor and I, when we went to Italy in 2019, we were going around. No, actually, this is when we went to France. We went to France in like 2021, I think, or somewhere 2022. One of those 2 years. I can't remember now. We were in France. We were going around. We were like looking for places to eat. And we found a ramen shop just like randomly on Google, and we're like, all right, we'll go to this ramen shop and see what's up. We always like to try ramen from all the different places that we go to. That's one of our like things that we typically do. So we go to this ramen shop. There's like a line to get into it. We're like, okay, it's not super long. Like, we'll just wait, go in. We went in. It was like this, like the interior of this building was like built like an authentic, like super like authentic Japanese restaurant, like very dimly lit, all like very old style too. And we went upstairs into a room. It was like a large table that we were seated at with a bunch of different people, and the food was awesome. They had some like crazy old Japanese movies playing on this little black and white TV, and the food was incredible. When we left, we found out after the fact that it was a Michelin star restaurant that we ate at, and we were like, holy crap, what like a crazy thing to walk into by accident.
Hey now.
So
that's your
was
good
really
one. What's a
awesome.
pissy one?
Yeah, so one of the other ones, and like this is in Austin. So we were out one Valentine's Day at a Korean restaurant in Austin, and this was a place that we were like pretty pumped about going to. We really like Korean food.
I was gonna say,
It was
remember,
a
Asian is his
relatively-
favorite food. That's why there's a
Yes.
theme here.
Indeed. So we were pretty pumped to try it out because it had, we had heard good things. We were like, okay, we'll go. We get there and it's like the service was terrible. They gave us the wrong drinks.
Yay.
The flavor of the food was just non-existent. And like if you've had Korean food before, you know that Korean food has a ton of flavor in it. Like it's not some bland
spicy
type of cuisine. And like we're sitting there, we're eating like bibimbap, and Taylor got something else too. And we were like, man, there's just like no flavor to these dishes. We've been to other Korean restaurants in Austin before. It took forever to get anything because the restaurant was packed. They gave us the wrong drinks. The food wasn't great. They gave us the wrong appetizers. It took forever to get the check just to get out of there. It was just such a bad experience that we didn't go back to that place for like 3 years. And then finally we were like, okay, look, we have to go back just to see if it was like a bad day because they were super packed. It's Valentine's Day. There's a lot of people out. And on the revisit, it was definitely a lot better. So
hey, look at that. A positive outcome in the end. All right, I'll go real quick.
Outcome.
My bad one was just this Sunday. We were in Westfield, Indiana for travel lacrosse. It's real fun. Try it out, parents. You'll love it. Giving up a whole summer weekends. But anyways, the kid had a good time, so I'm not going to bitch and be a piece of shit. But so in Westfield, Indiana, I see that they have a Portillo's, which is a famous place in the Midwest, especially Chicago. They're known for their kind of Italian beef sandwiches. and you know, Chicago style hot dogs, all that stuff. I was like, hey, at the end of the term, before we drive home, let's stop there. Why not try something new? I was like, you know, Dad, I could eat Chipotle every day, but I'll spare you 2 days in a row of the burritos. We'll try something new. We roll in the Portillo's. It's a fast casual place, so you know, you order and wait for your food to come out. It's fast food in the end. So we get in there. It's you can already tell it's crowded. I'm like, well, they're probably used to this. They're a famous spot. It's probably gonna move quick. No, to get fucking 4 meals, fast food meals. Okay, 4 fast food meals. First off, cost $60. It took 35 minutes. Mind you, we're all wanting to start driving home. We have a 3-hour drive to go. It's supposed to be a quick stop, maybe 10, 15 minutes, get the food, eat it, relax a bit before the drive and go. No, we're in there and it's like, all right, there's 20 minutes, there's 30 minutes, it's coming on 40 minutes. I'm like, well, Christ, we could be fucking halfway home by now, you cunts! And then we get the food and it fucking sucked. Like, I have never had a worse chili cheese dog in my life. It tasted like fucking mucus with onions in it, and the onions didn't even have an oniony flavor. How do you do that? How do you make something with onions and they don't taste like onions? All right. Luckily, my wife enjoyed her Chicago-style hot dogs, and the 2 girls with us, they sort of ate their fried chicken sandwiches, so I was like throwing away a $15 meal. But hey, there you go. So we got home almost an hour late. The food sucked, and it made me want to stab people in the face. My best experience it would probably be any time as a kid when my dad still was a higher up at the Max and Irma's chain, which unless you lived in the Midwest, you probably never heard of it. But anytime we could go there as a family and watch his staff and the waiters literally shake and get so nervous because they were serving, you know, a regional or a COO, and all our stuff was free, and it was really one of the only times the family would actually be together. So I would say that is my best.
Nice. Yeah, dude, Portillo's is like, I would have assumed that would have just been like easy go-to, like
you would
solid
think.
food. Because didn't we went to a Portillo's when we were in Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like a thing. I mean, it's like a famous thing that has persisted since like the fucking 40s or something. And I would never go to a Portillo's again after that. All right.
Dang.
There you go, Based and Brazen. We just spent like an hour on your restaurant one. All right, we got Nicky Buddy Phil in here. I saw him in the chat earlier. Hey there, Phil. You get a mate. This guy is really he's a space engineer. Look, man, he's good. I'm just kidding,
with
Phil.
The mechanical parts.
You hear how dumb I sound. I'm just kidding. All right. You get a John Wick style Star Wars movie centered on Boba Fett. Tamara Morrison isn't available. Who are you casting for the role?
Ooh, man, that's a good question, because I want to stick with, like, the easy answer is Jason Momoa, right? You just stick with the Maori, you stick with the heritage, you stick with the, you know, the same nationality of person, big name. People are gonna go see it. It's like, oh my God, Jason Momoa as Boba Fett, I'm in. But yeah, I mean, I think that obviously he would be a killer choice for it. If you're like thinking like to try to get as close to Tamara Morrison's look,
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, just cast the actual John Wick.
Yeah. Shit.
I don't know. I mean, I don't.
There we go. Benjamin Bratt now as Boba Fett.
Yeah, exactly. Go Ben Bratt again.
All right,
just anytime you need a fill-in for a brown actor in Star Wars, you just cast Benjamin Bratt. I'm gonna stick. Mine's Momoa. I'm sticking with the Maori. And going Momoa.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna go from like an elderly man playing Boba Fett to like a jack dude. It's a
prequel. It's a prequel.
Yeah. All right, mine, and he can't take his helmet off, so we're going old school Boba Fett. Daniel Logan, right? He is young Boba Fett. Yeah. Might as well bring him back. He doesn't look jack shit like Tamara, but who cares? So, oh my God. Thank you, people. I've been needing the Star Wars Time Show this week. It has not been a good few days of mental health. Let's just say, you know, it was a week or two ago, Nick, we were talking about the importance of communication between 2 long-term partners. Well, we've been struggling with that here at the Haywood household, and it's been fucking rough. So thank you for the stupidity, my friends and fans. I do appreciate it. I have not laughed in a few days. So the Benjamin Brattonow's Boba Fett. I could just see that in the credits. I love it. Nova. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Phil. And I think we got one or two more here, and then we'll move on to pop culture talk. Got some movies to talk about next. All right, last one. Sign XTC. What do you want to do when you retire, Nick?
Dude, nothing. Nothing. What do I want to do when I retire? I mean, honestly, what I want to do when I retire is move somewhere quiet. Like, I want to not be bothered. Like, my job literally is just, my job is to be bothered all the time.
Yeah.
Like, that is what my job is. Like, I mean, Matt, you know this too, as a teacher, like, you probably have the same thing. As somebody who works in marketing for like an agency style marketing, your job is to be bothered all the time.
We're service workers. I don't care how you spin it, but we serve other people.
Yeah. So what I want to do when I retire is just not be bothered. If I have children or anything like that, just move somewhere quiet where only our kids know we live. They can get in touch with us. Something like that, travel,
vacation
do a
at
little
Alligator
bit of traveling.
Alcatraz in Florida.
Oh God. Yeah. Just who knows? Maybe we won't even be in this country at that point when my retirement comes around.
Yeah. You never know. All right. Well,
yeah, I just want to chill.
I'm not looking to do much either. If I like had to keep working, which is probably going to be the case, because it seems that like we don't believe in any sort of retirement in this country anymore. I would like to run a dispensary in a beach town. If I didn't have to work, I'm still moving to the beach. Like I need to live on the coast as I expire from this planet. I can't stay in the Midwest anymore. I would stay up north. I can't deal with the South much. So yeah, I'd head to a beach town and either run a dispensary if I need to work, or just hang out, try not to get skin cancer, and enjoy Mother Nature. I become quite the bird guy. I've got 2 AI bird feeders, about to throw up a hummingbird feeder. I have squirrel feeders. I am fully settling into my old guy screaming at clouds phase of life. Thank you.
Hey, as you should. As you should.
Hey, look at that. B-Mad saying, come down to Panama City. I've got a lot of bad memories and 2 good memories from down at that place, dude. I might like have a flashback if I go down to Panama City. Whew, spinnakers. All right, man, that gets us through Ask Us Anything. Like I said, we do it pretty much, well, we do it every week to kind of kick off our main show here. So just follow us on socials. Look for the prompts. It goes up in our YouTube stuff, in our Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, so before we get into this week's special topic, let's go ahead and do a little pop culture talk. I caught 2 movies for you all this week, so you didn't have to. First one, M3GAN 2.0, the follow-up to the original M3GAN. You know what? I mean, my daughter kind of wanted to go see this because she's a fan. I don't know. Again, I don't know what that says about me, that my kid knows about these movies and has seen them, but she's okay. She hasn't tried to kill me yet. So we went and checked it out last Thursday, and I really enjoyed M3GAN 2.0. It's definitely a different formula. I'd say it's more of like an action thriller versus just a pure like cybernetic horror film, if that makes sense. Plus, the best thing, I had no clue. Guess who is the antagonist or one of the co-stars? It's our girl Shin Hati, Ivana Sakno.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, it was nice to see her in a lead role, kind of the bad person. She did great. A lot of physical acting in that. M3GAN was fun. She gets a bit of an upgrade. I don't know. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a darn good sequel, and I could see if this one makes enough cash, there being a third. They may have a full franchise on their hand at this point in time. Damn, Matt, the cardigans and hard candies are not far away. That's right, Nova.
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with a good Werther's original, all right?
Woo! Yeah, man, I love butterscotches because of old people.
Yeah.
So, M3GAN 2.0, definitely well worth going to see if you're a fan of the first one. You kind of want to see where things go next. It is different. It's not the same formula. You have a lot of the returning cast, so there's some good continuity. I definitely enjoyed it. And the next one I caught yesterday. I definitely wanted to try and see both of these before this week of movies. We've got Jurassic coming out tonight. I'll be going after the show, so I'll make sure to report on that next Wednesday. But I also caught my man Pitt's latest movie, F1, the movie, directed by, I think, Kaczynski, also starring Javier Bardem, Kerry Condon, and Damson Idris. I'm a big fan of racing flicks. I mean, all the way back to Days of Thunder. There's another racing movie with who was it, Matt Damon and Christian Bale was really good. I've not seen Gran Turismo yet, but I'm sure I'd like it. But F1 the movie, I mean, it kind of checks all the boxes you want in a racing movie. I mean, there's a bit of a comeback story. There's a bit of contention between the old guard and the new guard. And, some of the racing is really great cinematography and tension. I'm not as high on F1 the movie as I've seen others like Rotten Tomatoes and critics, but it's definitely well worth checking out in the big screen, especially IMAX, due to the sound and some of the shots, especially when racing. If anything, this movie, Nick, is just like, damn, I wish I was a race car driver. I think that's one...
Yeah.
One thing, if I would, especially, I am shorter too, so I would fit good in those little cockpits. Lose a lot of weight, I'd be like 120 or something, so I'm not weighing down the vehicle. But I love driving fast and somewhat loose, but also offensively safe, if you will.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hey, man.
Good flick.
That sounds like fun.
Listen, I mean, who knows what Brad Pitt has done in his real life? I don't know what to believe anymore, to be honest with you. I still like the guy. I think he's a dude. I mean, I'm an older guy now. These are my movie stars. As they age out, I still like kind of going to watch them in flicks. I'm sorry. And even his boy Tom Cruise showed up to help celebrate. You gotta love Tom. Always kind of pumping up other people's cinema because he knows the movie theater business is not doing great. All right.
Yeah. I saw a post from a movie theater executive, and they're like, movie theaters may be fully dead in 5 years.
I don't want to talk about it because it bums me. Like, that is going to be one thing. There are two things in my life that I am dreading: Howard Stern retiring for good, and the AMC theater that's literally 10 minutes from me shutting down. That'll pretty much rip out the last two forms of entertainment that I can still enjoy and haven't turned into work or a job or jobby. So not looking forward to that. All right, real quick, Base and Brazen, we will address this. Then we're going to get into our special topic to whip that out to finish our ranking of the Star Wars Trooper variants. But B&B is asking, what about Ironheart? I have not checked it out yet. I saw that it's achieved 85% fresh, even with review bombs, so I guess that's pretty positive. I've been seeing a lot of clips on social media today, so I'm guessing something big happened in the show, but luckily I didn't spend enough time to see any spoilers. So I think I'll probably get to that one at some point in time. But currently, we're working through White Lotus Season 3, and I'm already in love with it after the first episode. Patrick Schwarzenegger is playing an extremely great, creepy, rich shithead. All right. Okay, what do we got here? Phil. All right, Phil's coming in to hey, now I get paid to make rockets. Typing correctly wasn't part of the job description.
That's right.
All right, we got Nova.
As long as the numbers are correct. As long as the numbers are correct.
Who cares what the words look like? Don't you say Howard will retire, still hoping for a contract extension? Well, I kind of have some insights, and I can't tell anyone anything. There's no real lean on what Howard's going to do after he comes back in the fall. All right. Well, League's saying she digs Ironheart. So far, so good. Don't understand why she needs to build. Okay, I'll stop there. All right, there we go. So there we go. All right. Let's get into it, my friends. It's time to enter into part 2 of our Star Wars Trooper variant tier list rank off. You could call it a whack off, a jerk off, whatever you want to call it. But we are going to tier list rank as many Trooper variants as my dumb head and my dumb AI companion could cook up from the Mandoverse era, sequel trilogies, and Legends. All right. Hey there, Cade Trap Peep. I'm a Star Wars maniac. All right, well, you've made it to the right place. Hopefully you stick around and like what you hear. We're about to tier rank some troopers, starting with, and again, I know you all can't see these too well. Let me try to link everyone to the board, and maybe you can check it out that way. But we get it. The images
Drop
are...
the link.
Yeah, here we go. There's a link. And here's a link for you and a link for you. But we're going to start this, all right? And we're going to start, Nick, furthest to the left. This guy you're looking at, this sexy trooper, this is actually a Dark Trooper Phase 0. So Goose Egg Dark Trooper. They look more like Stormtroopers, less robotic. Armor's definitely bulkier. They've got a big pack on their back. Their armor's kind of like almost like a light pewter, but then they got some red accents there in the helmet. So what are you thinking of and this would be a Legends guy here, my friends, but the Dark Trooper Phase 0, what say you?
It definitely looks a little bit bulkier than the previous ones, and looks like these guys first appeared in the original Star Wars Battlefront video game, and then also in Battlefront 2 and subsequent
I think they're way back in Dark
expansions.
Forces too. Like way back.
Yeah. So they're back in the day. Here's what I'll say. It doesn't look like they can move around super easily in that armor. It looks like they're pretty bulked out, not very sleek. If you're looking at the picture on the Star Wars Wikipedia page, they look relatively fat in the face. So
yeah.
What I'll say is I'll put these guys, because they're formidable fighters. I'll say that. They're Dark Troopers.
Yeah, remember,
they're formidable fighters.
If you're new here, last week we've kind of determined I'm the easy one. I'm more into what they look like. Nick definitely likes to weigh in their battle prowess and other capabilities. So I do think these guys look kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like they got that puffy. It's like they're a stormtrooper that has hives or something.
Yeah.
So if anything, the color B, yeah, the color of the armor's kind of cool too. I like that light pewter. So I will not argue. Dark Trooper 0, you're going B tier. Up next, into the sequel trilogy era, we have a flame trooper from the First Order. I think the only time we really saw them in action was in TFA when they were lighting up Lor Santaka's village. So, they had different helmets than regular First Order troopers, and then they've got their pack and their flamethrower guns. And listen, flamethrowers are freaking awesome. But, Nick, does that justify them being a high-tier trooper?
Yeah, so, like you said, the only time that we see them is really just in that beginning scene when we're setting fire to Lor Santaka's village. The armor looks sleek. The effectiveness in combat is pretty one note, right? Like if somebody hits your flame pack on your back with a blaster rifle, you're just donezo. You're lit up and finished. I'll say B tier for these guys too. I'm holding out for some lower tiers here, but I feel like that B tier might be appropriate for this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I forget who it was last week, and they loved the First Order aesthetic, but I've kind of really, it's really worn off on me. I don't really love them. They're way rounded and very uninspired from the original Troopers. I mean, I guess that's kind of the thing. It's not like Stormtroopers were much different overall looking than Phase 2 Clone Troopers, so it is a thing. They're just kind of like meh, meh. I wouldn't be opposed to putting this guy down in the C banger, but I'll give Nick a B.
Okay.
I'll give you the B, because this next guy, I don't know. This might be cannon fodder already. It's a toy, so it is Legends, and it is from the OT era, and I believe these are called like Riot Control or Riot Assault Trooper, something like that. They wear this big pack, Nick, that's almost like an exoskeleton. It's got kind of like a Ripley Aliens 2 claw that they can use to, I guess, control the populace. Not much to say. So, I mean, this one's like one of those, like, can we just throw them in the fodder, or do you want to speak to this power of the Force action figure?
Yeah, I don't see too much on these guys. Obviously, the picture that we see here, looks kind of ridiculous. They're strapped into like a bad
It's a
mech suit
crowd
with
control stormtrooper. Sorry, they're crowd control stormtrooper.
crowd control
Yes,
stormtrooper. Let's see. Crowd
I'm telling you, it's only like a power.
control.
It's like a 1990s toy, is where this comes from.
Yeah. So
So
okay, I'm
they
seeing
got
it
like
now.
that
I see the
He-Man build
original.
where like they've got that super big upper torso and little legs, and then he's strapped into
Yeah.
that device. Yeah,
I'm gonna say that given that this character here is supposed to be made for crowd control, but looks like he can barely move
I
around, I'll
know,
say
I
cannon
know,
fodder.
dude.
I'll say cannon fodder. He can't even move in the suit that's supposed to control the
Yeah, he's
crowd.
like, wait, stop. And he's going real slow, and someone just pushes him over, and he just falls over sideways. He's like an upside down turtle. He's like, help me, I can't get
Yeah,
up.
it's like I'm done. I can't move.
Yeah,
I can't unlatch myself from this
screw
suit.
this guy. I mean, outside of looking like he's on steroids, he has no justification to be rated higher than cannon fodder. So eat it, crowd control. All right, we got one Mandoverse era from the Ahsoka series. You could say they're just a stormtrooper, but they're not. They're called night troopers, and as we learned, they definitely aren't fully alive, or they're not who they used to be. I mean, their armor's all jacked up,
Mhm.
so they got that what's that called, kitchigiri, where it's all put back together with gold and red straps. Some of them had these gray helmets, like they 3D printed them to wear. They're pretty cool looking OG Stormtrooper variant for sure, Nick. Plus, they had the added bonus of being undead. So, what do you think
Yeah.
about those Night Troopers? And they had a lot of variety. You know what I mean? They didn't all look the same.
Mhm.
They were all unique in terms of how their armor was reformed. So, what do you think about the Night Troopers?
Yeah, I was actually a fan of the aesthetic of the
Yeah.
night troopers, and like you were saying, that kind of rebuilt look that also lent to the fact that like underneath the suits, like these are probably zombie troopers or like some sort of like reanimated, corpses within these suits. I know that once some of the helmets cracked, you could see the mangled faces and everything like that. So I'm leaning towards A with these guys. I'm really interested to see the comeback that they make in Ahsoka season 2 and how they look, how they battle in Ahsoka season 2. So purely based off of what we saw in season 1, I'll place them in A tier.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually. I think I have my hot toy here. I forget. That's why I just need to stop collecting. The fact that I don't even remember which ones I have or still am getting, that's probably a sign that I should stop spending so much money on this shit. But anyways, I'm with you, and I'm with Cade Trap Peep. I think the Night Trooper is an easy A tier addition. All right, well, we're sticking in the Mandoverse era. Let's rewind a bit to the Mandalorian, I believe, season 2. We saw these guys show up on Tython as Grogu was being hijacked by another trooper variant that we'll be talking about in today's tier list rank off. I'm talking about the artillery bros. So they got the standard stormtrooper kit, but they've got the
Mhm.
yellow pauldron, the specialized yellow paint splitting their face mask as well as their chest, and yellow stripes down their arms. Plus, their main function is lobbing mortars. So we never really saw this variant in the OT or prequels. It was a new thing in the Mandoverse area, so it was kind of cool to see them setting up artillery stations and trying to blow up Din, Boba, and Fennec. But what do you think? I mean, are they cool looking? Are these comparable soldiers in the Remnant Empire?
Yeah, so like you said, their get up is pretty standard. They don't have anything that really separates them from standard stormtroopers in terms of their gear, other than the paint splashes, which I think looks pretty cool. Um, Limited in terms of their artillery and their arsenal. Mortars are one thing, but can they defend themselves in close combat? Can they shoot with precision? I don't think so. So my initial thoughts on these guys is B tier. They're effective at range. They're effective at blowing things up. But if you're looking for a combat ready guy, a frontline trooper, this is not your person.
All right. Yeah, I mean, this is one I actually did pass on. I purchased one of the other Mandoverse trooper variants we'll be talking about. This one I passed on. I guess that says something about me and the artillery trooper. So I can agree with you on on a B-boy here. Artillery trooper
Alright.
to the land of B. Next up, we kind of have to call this one a Legends, but he has popped up in a few games. I know he was in Swago, apparently possibly in Battlefront, but we're maybe even one of these old mobile games, like where it's kind of a tower defense type of deal. But we're talking about the Magma Trooper, Nick, the Magma Trooper. I don't know if you remember them from your Swago days, but they are definitely a unit. They've got a heavy backpack. They kind of got these breathing tubes going into their mask. Apparently, they're adept at fighting on planets like Mustafar or other volcanic type of planets. So they still kind of have that trooper look, but with that modified helmet and pack. And obviously, because they're fighting on planets full of ash and molten lava, you know, their armor's a little dirty and nicked up. So what are you thinking about these Magma Bros?
Yeah, I mean, I like the look. I like the modifications to the armor. I think it actually adds a little bit of visual flair there. And it seems like they're packed to the nines, baby. They got E11 medium blaster rifle, T21 light repeating blaster, DLT19 heavy blaster rifle. These guys are ready to go. They're ready to go. So all of that being said, I like the look. I like the weaponry. I'm going to say A tier for these fellas. It seems like they can get down on the battlefield.
Okay. All right. So Nick is definitely leveraging his preference for their battlefield prowess, where I'm going to go ahead and kind of discount that a little bit, and I'll focus more on their overall look, which is fairly generic outside of the upper part of the trooper here. So Nick, I cannot agree on A tier.
Okay.
But because you went so high, I'm also not going to take it down to C. So Magma, like three others, it seems B is becoming the popular tier in the early stages of our rank.
Early stages.
Cade, we appreciate you for sticking around. It seems that so far we have not offended you. That is a bonus. All right. Next up, this one's kind of cool, and I think I grabbed an artist's rendition and forgot to get credit, so sue me. I'm sure someone will. But Nick, these are called Radiation Zone Troopers. Radiation Zone Troopers. Yes, we're digging up some deep and hidden nuggets from the EU or Legends, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I guess they're deployed to Radiation Zone, and they have this very specialized helmet and chrome armor. I don't know if you can see the image I have very well, Nick, but the helmet is definitely different. It almost blends more into the Sith trooper look that we get an era or two away from the Radiation Zone troopers. But they kind of have that all gunmetal chromish kit. Yeah. And their helmet is definitely ultra stylized versus just a regular trooper. So yeah, I think visually they pop for me.
Yeah, no, I found the image that you're using. This is from Chiron 2000 on DeviantArt. So shout out to Chiron. Very good work here. I mean, like, you know, this trooper looks pretty sick. So if you guys are listening along here, just Google Radiation Zone Troopers and then open up that image tab and you'll find what we're looking at. I mean, this thing looks awesome. It's definitely got a heftier armor, like you were saying, with the you know, going into radiation zones. They're using a lot more of that, like, you know, steel, carbon fiber, whatever, carbon steel type of armor. Very shiny, nice looking. I'm leaning like high A tier here. These guys look like they're really cool. Obviously, we don't have a lot of experience with them in terms of media, but they look pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think looks alone, they deserve A, and maybe if we actually got to see them and what they could do and how they're used, they potentially, just for their looks, and then if they had that top tier battle prowess, they could possibly be S. But I'm with you. I think A is a fair zone for the Radiation Zone Trooper. All right, here we're getting into some of the first order stuff, and a lot of these, they have different weapons, different roles, so I did decide to include them, although their armor mostly looks like a first order trooper. But the one we're looking at here, Nick, apparently there were first order electroprod troopers in The Rise of Skywalker to handle Chewbacca. So they're kind of first order looking, but then they have this long staff, which is an electroprod, to
Yeah.
antagonize Wookiees.
Yeah. So, like you said, this is like their get up is pretty standard First
Potato.
Order Trooper. Is pretty standard First Order Trooper. I like the First Order Trooper variants. I like the slight updates that they made to the armor. To me, it is like a nice little evolution of the standard Stormtrooper. Given that this guy is like, he's got a little prod,
No
looks
gun,
pretty
just
standard.
a prod.
No gun, just a prod. I'm leaning towards B tier for this guy. Because he is kind of standard, right? And actually I would consider it a bit of a downgrade because he does not have a gun. Like,
yeah,
he's really only whipping
he's
the
only
prod
useful to prod, I'm guessing, alien prisoners, you know what I mean?
Yeah, or something like that. Or maybe he's a shepherd and he's out there prodding the cattle along.
Yeah, AOP. He's an Yopi shepherd there on Tatooine in his downtime.
Exactly.
All right,
I'll say B tier.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I'm open to hearing some argument.
I just like, he thinks he's so cool standing there with his electro prod. I almost hate him because of that. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm gonna overrule you. We're going C tier on this bum.
Whoa!
C tier.
First,
sorry,
C-tier.
electro prod guy. You know what to do with your staff. All right, stick it where the sun don't shine. Okay, let's stay with the First Order here. The next group, we got a great shot from The Last Jedi as they storm that Resistance stronghold on Crate. We get to see the First Order Snowtrooper. I think we also got to see him a bit in TFA on Starkiller Base, and then again in Kijimi in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yep.
But they rolled in a full battalion on Crate, I guess because it looked like Crate had snow, even though it was just white dust covering red stuff. So
so they
have different helmets. It is kind of they flare out more. Nick, they got more of the eye slit like the Flame Trooper First Order guy. They've got kind of those comma things like the skirts, like OG Snowtroopers. I personally don't think they look as cool as OT Snowtroopers, but they are Snowtroopers, and Snowtroopers are typically better than regular troopers. So what say you?
Yeah. I mean, I will say that I think the OG Snowtroopers look better. The Imperial Snowtroopers. Not a huge fan of this one's helmet, if I'm going to be honest with you. But they were pretty combat effective. They do have like an interesting look to them. I'm kind of leaning like low B tier, maybe C tier on these guys because that helmet for me, I just don't like it at all. It's like, what are you seeing from? What are the little things at the bottom by your chin for? I don't know, man. It was weird. Clearly, also these guys got down to Crate and they probably like called back to command. They're like, "Hey, this isn't snow, man. This is sand. You got the wrong type of trooper here. All right,
idiots.
Send us back. Get the First Order Sand Troopers out here. What are you doing?"
Yeah, they're like, this new Supreme Leader Ren is a dipshit. I wish Snoke was still alive. Yeah, man. There's something about the First Order troopers in general that these days don't move me. What's crazy to think, this is fucking wild. Write this down. It's a shame that Props isn't in here. I think at this point in my Star Wars life, it's so hard to say. I'm a bigger fan of the prequels than the sequels at this point in time. As dirty as that sounds, coming from my prequel hating ass from yesteryear, but the Rise of Skywalker. Why do you exist? The Rise of Skywalker. Why?
I think that TFA is better than.
Of course, but then the trilogy, at least the prequels, as much as we make fun of it, at least there's a fucking story, okay? There's a coherent story that we've poked plenty holes in. But the sequel trilogy is like, there's some story, then it gets changed to back to what it was supposed to be, and just ends up being like a big disappointment. So, you know what? Fuck these guys. C tier. See you later, Snowtroopers. All right, we can't get enough of these guys. In fact, we're talking First Order for like the next 6 of these mugs. So let's get right to it. Let's start hating on these punks. Up next, they can fly now, Nick. We've got First Order Jet Troopers. Okay, they do have jetpacks, so that's pretty awesome. And they have a very, very distinctly different helmet from all the other First Order mugs out there. It's kind of got like a tri-level split. I'm guessing there's like a breathing apparatus in there for when they're up in atmosphere. They got that tri-shot gun. They're clearly sort of competent because I think they at least took out one or two of the skiffs in the Rise of Skywalker chase.
They did.
And again, they can fly now. So what do you think about these First Order Jet Troopers?
Yeah, Jet Troopers. I mean, not a huge fan of the helmet. I just don't like the all white helmet design. They are very fun to watch. Like I thought,
yeah,
it was cool to watch. Like the arcing jump flight. Like you said, they were pretty good at nailing those skiffs in midair. Big fan of that sequence. I'm gonna say that I'll put this guy in like I would say like high B or low A tier. So I'll say that as the starting point.
Low A, high B. All right. I will give it to you. This when we're talking about First Order Stormtroopers, this is a variant that I dig. I mean, jetpacks are jetpacks. I think every man out there, hell, every woe man as well, every day, whatever
every
you are,
human.
Yeah, every human wants a jetpack. So, you know what? Just for the jetpack and the fact that we have that lame line now that everyone knows to spit out, I'm gonna give this guy A tier.
Oh, there we go.
See,
there we go. First Order
nice.
Troopers.
Yeah,
getting
like
into
Polanca's saying. Polanca gets it. I mean, any trooper with a jetpack, of course. They're also the best jet trooper in BF2, so you got that. Hey, all right, I feel good about that A tier then. Sorry, Cade.
Yeah.
Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. But we're not done with the First Order bros yet. We now have the Riot Control First Order Trooper. He's the guy with that electro staff that says, what does he say to Finn? Like, hey,
traitor.
Yeah,
he says,
traitor.
And that's why at first everybody was like, this trooper is TR8R. That's his designation. TR8R.
Yep, that's right. Nick is not wrong. He's not wrong. But we've got the Riot Control Trooper, so I guess you could say they're badass mofos because they forego blasters and literally in a science fiction fantasy property that has laser guns and laser swords. They're like, no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going with a stun baton. That's my weapon of choice.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think about these guys?
Dude, I love Traitor. I love TR8R. Every time he pops up on the screen and he whips it, he
oh yeah, he cocks that shit.
Whoa, pops it out, and he's like, comes up, traitor, and then just beats Finn's ass, just takes him out easy. And Finn's whipping the lightsaber too, man. Like future Jedi Finn is fighting this trooper here and gets his ass whooped by purely I'm putting this guy in S tier. I love this man.
What?
This guy is great.
S tier for this guy, for Traitor?
S tier for Traitor.
Oh, man. See, this is where it comes down to. Do I hedge a future bet by giving Nick this?
I'm looking at
this clear non-S tier trooper. Like, let's be real. This guy is so far from S tier, it's not even funny. But I respect young Nick. I appreciate his opinion. He does have a moment. Like if we're talking like moments for troopers in the sequel trilogy, Traitor definitely stands out.
That's probably the best moment.
Yeah.
That's the best trooper moment.
Man. All right. Well, like I said, I'm hedging a future rank off here where I'm gonna have to win one if I give young Nick Riot Control Traitor Bomb S tier, the first S tier. Oh my god! Oh my god! I feel so dirty. We just lost our fan cards, Nick. Thank you. I saw a comment on it might have been last week's, and they're like, the fact that you have so many in S tier invalidates your ranks. I'm just like.
It's like, what? We just like
you.
Cool stuff, man.
Thank you.
Isn't that? Yeah. That's just what this is all about. We
all right.
We like Star Wars. We think a lot of stuff's cool.
That was fun. That was fun. Okay, up next, sticking with the First Order, you would have saw these guys in Star Wars Resistance, or more than likely, you probably didn't see them because
Yeah.
they were in Star Wars Resistance. Nick and I watched that, and we had our own dedicated podcast to it. So we're fans. We're talking about the First Order Scuba Troopers. And I'll tell you what, they definitely look cooler than their predecessors that we talked about last week. They got cool lights on their helmets. You know, they can scuba around and shoot. I forget exactly what they were doing in Resistance, but this screenshot, I dig it. Maybe it's the animation giving them a bit of an edge, but I am liking the look of the First Order Scuba Troopers, Nick.
Yeah, yeah. I remember seeing these guys. I believe that there was like a where Resistance mostly took place was like multiple different platforms that were like above water, and at one point Kaz was like, you know, had to go down into the depths, into like the underwater sections of the station, and like these guys were tasked with like finding out where he was or something. um I do really like the look of these First Order Scuba Troopers. I agree with you. I think that the lighting on the mask looks cool. I think that overall, their get up looks a lot better than what we saw from the Imperial Scuba Troopers in the previous episode. Um, my initial thought here is like, you know, maybe like mid high B tier. We got to see them fight a little bit. Obviously, they did not come out successful because Kaz somehow bumbled his way into taking him out. But I think
That's my
that
boy
looks
Kaz,
alone,
dude.
that's how he
Always winning by
functioned in
fucking
that show.
up. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
was Kaz.
that's right. Fail forward is Kaz's motto. But yeah, I'm thinking like a solid B tier here.
I can get down with that. I mean, they just look cool. And again, I like the animation of Resistance. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
why people shit on
animation's good.
Resistance so much. It was not bad. It was trying its best to like give more context to the sequel trilogy after everyone wanted to write their own plot. It was trying to tie them all together. So for that alone, B tier, my scuba friends. All right, not done. We saw him in TFA for the first time. Finn is clearly the best one. The best variant of the First Order Stormtrooper is Finn with the bloody mark. No doubt about it. I don't know why I didn't use that image. Probably because I'm a moron. But Nick, we are
Mhm.
talking about just your plain Jane standard First Order Stormtroopers. Not the guy with the heavy gun. We'll be talking about him next. But the dudes next to him returning fire at Poe and Finn as they escape the hangar.
Yeah, I mean, so this is just like where are we baselining First Order troopers, right? I mean, I know that we put Stormtroopers last time in a S tier because it was like it laid down the look
Correct.
for all
Correct.
troopers to come. Um, I relatively like the look of First Order troopers. I think their base look is good. I think it, like I said before, it's a good iteration on Stormtroopers. There's like some separation. I think that the helmets look nicer. The armor itself is a little bit more sleek. I'm leaning towards A tier here because the ones that we kind of were mid tier on, we've already put in B or C. But I do think that like the base level First Order Trooper, they look pretty good.
All
They
right.
look pretty good.
I'm not gonna fight you on that one. I mean, they are kind of the basis or the model for all other first order types, so we'll give them that. All the rest are just copycats. Okay, First Order, we love it. We love the sequel trilogy. Clearly, we can't get away from it at this point in time. But now we're talking about our First Order TIE pilots, and I think this one is a specialist. So he has two red stripes coming down his face mask through his visor. I'm not gonna lie. I think the First Order TIE pilots are some of the best looking First Order mugs in Trooper armor. They just, as much as I like the OG TIE pilots, their look, their armor, their more rounded helmet, especially around the jowls, just stands a bit more out to me. So I'm kind of I'm much more positive, Nick, on the First Order TIE fighter specialist than I have been so far with these other chumps. So that means you're gonna
Yeah.
say I hate ties. They suck. So therefore, this guy's cannon fodder, right?
No, no, no. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to do that to you. I look, here's one thing I'll tell you about me. If you give me a black and red variant of something, I am generally going to like it. I
It's a good
black
color
and red
combo.
play
Yep.
It is. It plays well together. We've seen it play well together in Star Wars for many a decade, going back to Darth Maul, Vader, black suit, red lightsaber. Like it's the black red combo just works. It just works. And I agree with you. I think that if we're looking at all first order variants, the pilots have some of the coolest get-ups of the crew. So I would be comfortable putting this like high A tier, maybe even low S tier.
Yeah, I don't know if they go all the way to S, but I will not fight you on A. Although seeing
nobody touches Traitor in S tier.
I was gonna say,
That's
man,
right.
seeing that dude up there, it's just like it's you
holding
taunting
it down.
me. It's you taunting me right now. Like all I see right now is your face on his head with that baton hanging out and going like, ha 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 ha. I'm an S tier, no one else is. So all right, I'm gonna keep. I'll do A tier on the TIE pilot. Okay.
All right.
Hey, guess what? It's another first order trooper, and this one literally. I should have scrubbed this guy from the list, but he is a very specifically named trooper. He is a first order tread speeder driver. We saw him in Rise of the Skywalker. I do believe they have slightly different armor on their chest, maybe in their shoulders, but it's literally a first order trooper on I don't even want to say a speeder bike because it's not. It has a big tread on it, and it needs to touch the ground to move.
Yeah. I thought that the tread bike itself was actually pretty cool, and I appreciate what they did with that because, like you wanted to make it look dynamic. This thing kicked up a bunch of sand when it's riding along. It was pretty cool. I mean, the trooper itself, it's just like a dirtier version of the standard first order trooper, essentially. And it has pretty limited use from what we saw. Like this dude was driving and he wouldn't even, like he would just drive along, and then the jet troopers, I believe, would just rocket themselves off the back of their tread bikes and they would actually do all the fighting. So my lean with this guy is C tier. So yeah.
I mean, let's be real. If it weren't for the jet troopers, the good guys would have had no problem getting to where they needed to be because these tread speeder guys were taken out pretty easily.
Yeah, pretty
easily.
I mean?
So
indeed.
Yeah, they do have cool whips, so they're not complete garbage. So I agree. C tier is a good place for them.
Nice.
All right. Unfortunately, because I do have to gather assets, I know this next one is a fan favorite, especially from your buddy Phil. But we're talking about the First Order Raiders. First Order Raiders. Very different looking helmet. Very menacing looking. It almost looks like a Punisher skull on their helmet. And they have a red pauldron. Their helmet has a good swath of gray there to kind of give that Punisher skull outline. They are damn cool looking First Order troopers. Again, these are the Raiders. In terms of First Order, they are probably the most unique looking, unless we compare them to like the TIE pilot. But for a trooper variant from the First Order, these Raiders, Nick, have a very, very different aesthetic compared to their brethren.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the helmets are completely different, and I think that the helmets look better. I think that they look way more intimidating. Even the color palettes, there's a couple different ones right now. We're seeing like a gray variant with a red shoulder pauldron, but there's also like a digital camo variant that's also out there. It's on the Wikipedia that you can see. First popped up in Star Wars Resistance. So again, if you haven't seen Resistance, you've likely never seen this variant of trooper, but they look pretty badass. Like I agree with Phil that these are some of the more intimidating looking first order troopers. So I'm leaning again towards like this high A, low S tier, just because this is probably, other than just like different colors, this is probably the most different first order armor variation that we're gonna see.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with anything you're saying. I don't know what my deal is. I have like a kind of a block when it comes to these first order types with S tier. And you already crammed.
You just know
there.
that Traitor is the only S tier one. You just know that he.
No, I mean, maybe I should put the Raider up there just to make myself feel better. So this This motherfucker quit staring at me. Like, it really is, Nick. I feel like he's taunting me because unlike
He's
the
ready,
rest
man.
of you,
the way that he's standing too, he's like ready to fight.
yeah, that's what I mean. He's like, come on, Matt, you little bitch. Because I have a big view because I'm looking at the board controlling the thing. You guys get the zoomed out view that you can't see. I'm thinking next time when we do these, I should probably just load all the images into like a slideshow so people can actually see them, and then we can rank them on the board. Ding, ding, ding. It's called production value, Haywood. How about Jablomi? All right. So the Raider, yeah, A tier for me. A's getting busy, though. So we're going to get yelled at for that one, too.
Yes. We're not real fans because we don't think that everything sucks.
That's right. Yeah, in this upside down world, you are correct, Nick. Yes. Okay. We finally got out, at least for just a second, we got out of the sequel trilogy. We're coming back to the Mandoverse era. It's one of the cooler troopers I've seen, although you can't really say that they're a whole new variant because we do know what Death Troopers look like. We did not know what they look like when they were zombies, especially when they get part of their face masks cracked open. Even more so than the Night Troopers, the undead Death Troopers from Ahsoka were phenomenal. I mean, they almost took out Ahsoka. She ended up besting one of them. You're already starting with an S tier Trooper's armor, and then you make them a zombie. It's kind of an easy crossover for me. But go ahead, Nick. What do you think about these guys?
Yeah, man, you don't need to convince me much on this one. I mean, the image that we're looking at here is the Hot Toys exclusive undead Death.
I missed out on this one, and I'm pissed. This was a limited run, and I did not get it. But yeah, that is an awesome figure.
Yeah, so if you're following along at home, that's what you'll look up. So just look up Undead Death Trooper, the Hot Toys Ahsoka variant. I mean, this thing looks badass. Like we were saying earlier, like we already put the Ahsoka Zombie Troopers in A, and that's just like the base level one. This one we're looking at here, the Death Trooper variant, is just absolutely badass looking. Yeah. The gold cracks along the black armor.
Love it.
Just increases the cool factor. The red bands, like you were saying, to hold these pieces together. In some instances, the cracked helmet where it's showing the zombified face. I'm saying S tier for this guy.
Look at Nick's getting in on the impression game today. I like that. Nick's our new resident zombie impressionist. Anytime we need a zombie, young Nick's got you covered.
I got it.
Hey, Based and Brazen, I know exactly who you're talking about. I forget his name right now. Do you remember the all-gold First Order Trooper from Resistance, Nick?
Yeah.
Commander something or Captain something?
It was, I know the guy who played it. It's the guy from The Expanse.
Yeah, just look it up real quick while I'm moving this
I'll
guy
find
up to
it.
S
You go
tier.
ahead and give your
Zombie Death Trooper, easy S tier. Enough said. So while Nick's pulling that up real quick, I'll kick off the next one to rank. And guess what? Yeah, we're back in the sequel trilogy, my friends. We are now dealing with the boys in red, so you know they got a little at least Sith in their name. I'm not really sure that really means anything besides
Captain
just a
Enoch.
title.
Captain Enoch.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I confused you. I was talking about the. I'm confused.
Enoch's the guy with the all gold.
Yeah, you're right.
Face.
You're right. Everyone's right. I'm wrong, and you're never really going to hear that. So someone should record this and save it for posterity because I do not like being wrong.
Clip it.
I thought B&B was talking about Homeboy from Resistance that literally was a First Order Stormtrooper in all gold armor. So
no, there was another one. Yeah, because there was Commander Pyre who was all in red.
That's
I
it.
Can't remember.
I think okay. Jesus, we're all over the place at this point in time. Hey, we know Star Wars.
Pyre was all gold. Pyre was all gold.
And then the other one was more of a pilot. I think Cardinal that Toymation's talking about. Oh well. Yeah. Well, I bumbled that. Who cares? He's not on the list anyway. So Nick, Sith Jet Trooper. It'd be great if I could tell you that their armor and their helmets were way different than the First Order Jet Troopers, but they're not. It's just red. And I think he might have different guns, but that's about it. So just red, and he has a
Yeah.
Sith in front of his name instead of First Order.
Yeah, so I'm leaning towards keeping these guys in A tier along with their Jet Trooper brethren, just a little bit higher in A tier, maybe like right in front of them in A tier. Like I said, if it's red and black, you'll get me, because I just love that color combination. But yeah, essentially the same thing. They are just Sith instead of First Order, like you mentioned. So maybe there's some Force juice in there. That's kind of what we were led to believe at one point, where the Sith troopers were like semi-Force.
They did seem a little more
whatever.
competent in the Battle of Exegol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So higher degree of battle competency. I'll say A tier for these guys.
All right. Okay. A is definitely our Homer tier this week, where S tier was our Homer tier last week, so kind of makes sense. All right, this next one, luckily, I think it was EKU Rory kind of keyed us in last week, need to be on the list, even though he was talking about Dark Troopers. I thought he was talking about these Imperial Commandos that Gideon had on his side during the Battle of Mandalore in the Mandalorian Season 3. So these are the dudes. They got kick-ass looking helmets, kick-ass looking armor. I mean, I love that white on gunmetal gray with a little, kind of dark red in there. Their helmets are still kind of trooperish, but there's like a hint of Mando to them. They had jetpacks.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just bums. I mean, I know the Mandalorians eventually took them out, but we're talking about the fucking Spartans of Star Wars taking on a conscripted force, so that they're always going to win. But these Imperial Commandos were bitching. And they even, listen, I mean, I know Din beat them all, but, I mean, they gave him some fights when he was walking through those ray shields. They weren't just complete bums that he just cast aside. So I'm pretty high up on these Imperial Commandos.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that these guys put up a really good fight. Like you said, their visual style is really cool, incorporating the white with the gray and the red. We know that they can battle. They were battling the best, fighters in the galaxy, you could argue, with the Mandalorians. I mean, they have like a similar look to that Mandalorian Raider that we have up there in A tier as well. I'm saying that like they're probably pretty high up in A, if not in S tier. I could see them going there as well, because they were a pretty formidable force.
All
so
right. Well, here's the deal. I'm not burning my get out of jail free card, because you said they technically could go in S as well. So I'm going to agree with you on S. I think these Commandos deserve top placement. They just look great. I'm actually surprised these did not get a hot toy. Only Gideon did, not these guys.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay. Well, up next, we may be talking about another S tier from the Mandoverse era that also served Moff Gideon. And we're talking about Dark Trooper Phase 3, the only canonized version of the Dark Trooper. These are those mean boys that we saw in Season 2 that stole Grogu, and, they got flushed out of the ship, but then they all came back, and shit was looking dire, and then Red 5 comes in with our friend Luke to save the day. But these Dark Troopers, without Luke's assist, would have won the day. They would have taken out Din and Bo and Fennec and I don't even remember, Cara Dune, all those people. Plus, they look cool. They have their own music, as Nova Toymation kind of tipped off. I mean, the way they come awake, the way they get stored, their battle prowess, they can fly now. I mean, I love the Dark Trooper Phase 3. Plus, they have a kick-ass figure. This one, like I said, Nick, I'm feeling good about it. So let's see what you have to say about our Dark Trooper P3.
Cannon fodder, man. Nah, can't do
cannon
that
fodder, you son bitch.
Can't do that to these guys. No, I mean, unquestionably, this is like the top of S tier, I think. As of right now, I think that these guys are the tippity top of S tier. Like
even
you said,
in front of your boy Trader?
I got to put him in front of Trader, man. Trader is
you're traitoring Trader.
I know, right? He's gonna come after me, and I can feel it. I know he's
next
got
time
me
he
in
sees
his
you in
sights
Austin,
now.
he go, Traitor.
That's right. Just comes right
at me.
Who
the fuck's this guy?
But yeah, I mean, these guys are killing machines, and like you said, the only thing that stopped them from destroying all of our favorite Mandalorian characters was, the guy himself, Luke Skywalker, coming in to save the day. And yeah, he made quick work of him, but this guy's a Jedi master.
And listen,
So
you could argue, Nick, he actually had to deploy some dark side leaning force powers against them.
yeah,
You know,
he
he did
did.
the old daddy body crush. Let's be real. Come on,
That's
he
right.
learned a few things from Papa Anakin. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, these
these
guys are
guys
S
are
tier.
S tier, and I'm like you. I'm putting them right up there in the pole position. All right, good stuff. Okay, sticking Mandoverse era, uh, similar to the artillery trooper, where they're very specialized, but their armor isn't very much different. I'm talking about the incinerator troopers. So they got the red accents, so red going down the top of their helmet, and then it fully fleshes out their mouth, so it almost looks like they have like a bloody face. It's kind of demonic looking. They got a red stripe down here, and
Hmm.
then they're wearing their big ass flamethrower apparatus. We see him in season 1 in Mando as they're trying to flush out the team there at the bar on Navarro. And if it weren't for Grogu, they would have succeeded in fully kind of burning them out, flushing them out, and getting caught. So I do have a
Yeah.
hot toy of this one. I did not of the artillery trooper. So I think this one is B minimum, but has potential to grow depending on what Nick says. What do you think about these incinerator guys?
Yeah. I mean, I like it better than the yellow variant than the mortar artillery troopers. So my initial lean is like high B here, maybe like the highest B that we have, or sliding right into that low A territory. I will say that you know, flamethrower only is a tough place to be. Kind of similar situation
Yeah.
like we were talking about with the
Slow.
first order flame trooper. Slow, not really the most effective in terms of long range combat. And if somebody comes up behind you, you're just toast because they can simply shoot your pack and then you explode. Um, but yeah, so my initial lean here is like a high B tier for these fellas.
Yeah, you know, even with the hot toy, there's nothing really compelling me to fight for the incinerator trooper to get him in a higher tier. So B works just fine for me. There you go, buddy. Join your artillery bros and go blow some shit up and then catch it on fire. All right, first order time. We saw these guys in the Last Jedi there with the goofball DJ when Rose and Finn were
Yep.
captured. These are the First Order executioners, and they actually do have some visual flair to their uniforms, Nick. They got the matte black shoulder pauldrons, and then part of their helmet is also matte black, and then their weapon is essentially an energy battle axe. But it does seem, as the First Order kind of has a penchant for, they're very specialized. So I guess these guys just sit around until someone needs their head lopped off, and then they come out and do it. But what do you
Yeah,
think
it's
about
like,
these executioners here?
dude, it's another one where like I appreciate the armor flare, like they got kind of part of their helmet black, they got the black pauldrons, a little bit more black accent to their armor. I think that the energy axe looks cool. I think that it has a very cool look to it. Practically, probably not the best thing to fight with, right? Like this is probably only really good use if you're just cutting a stationary person's head off. So that is like leaning me towards the tier where we also have the shepherd, the cattle prod guy. I'm leaning towards like C tier with these guys, even though they look a little bit cooler. I think that the practical use of these guys is literally like, hey, just sit in the back row until we got somebody's head who needs to be
Yeah.
chopped off, and then after that, just go back. So
Yeah, I'm with you. Like they seemed way too specialized. We didn't really even get to see them do anything because their plans get foiled right when they try to make the first hack. So I don't know if I can put them in cannon fodder because they at least visually have a different look than all these other First Order jerk offs we just talked about. So I'll do C tier. He can go hang out with Tread Bro, Prod Bro, and Snow Bros. All
there we
right.
go.
This should be an easy one. I didn't know these guys existed, but I guess we did see these chumps on Crate, and he does have a
Yes, we
helmet.
did.
So kind of
Yep.
like their predecessors on the Tantive 4, we're talking about a Resistance Trooper. Yes, they did exist, Resistance Trooper. They're kind of a scraggly looking bunch. You know, they look
Yep.
like boys maybe fighting in the trenches of World War One. No distinct uniform. Some have helmets, some do not. Some literally lick the sand to see what it tastes like, because why not? But what do you think about these resistance troopers, Nick, outside of they go right to cannon fodder?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're like the definition of cannon fodder. Like these were the guys that the resistance didn't even feel comfortable putting in the skiffs that were like riding
Correct.
out to meet the
These are
like these were the
literally
guys like
trench cannon fodder.
yeah, like they're like just sit in the trenches and hope a grenade doesn't land on your head. Like that's the only thing you can do. Yeah, I mean these guys are cannon fodder. They were literally like put out there as a distraction to keep the rest of the first order, or at least to slow down the rest of the first order from immediately just beelining to the big like the big warehouse or the big facility that the important people were hiding in. So I think this cannon fodder easy.
Yeah, I mean, the guy even looks kind of dopey if we're being honest. So, see you guys. Have fun down there with whoever that guy is. What's his name? Crowd control, bro.
Yeah, crowd control guy.
All right. Well, Nick, you might have thought we were done with troopers that play in hot liquid when we rank the magma trooper. But guess what? There's also lava troopers. I'm not sure what the hell the difference is. But these guys, envision, for those that aren't playing around live on the stream here, envision a kind of I guess a shadow trooper, if you know what those look like. But
Mhm.
instead of silver accents, they have a red accent on their helmet, red accent on their helmet mouthpiece. They have red tubes coming out of their helmet going into their breathing mask. I'm
Mhm.
not sure where these lava troopers came from. They're definitely legends type of territories. But we are, Nick, we are talking that red and black aesthetic. It is they got that going for them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Plus the tubes coming
Yeah.
out of the face. I don't know. I mean, they definitely look different, more unique than the magma troopers, but they kind of sound like the same type of unit. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've said it, if you have some black and red accents that you get an immediate bump, you're not cannon fodder at the very least. It seems like there is a bit more combat effectiveness than some of our lower tier C tier troopers. So my my thought is definitely in the B tier area. These are definitely guys that were legends, and specifically in legends, I'm looking at it here. Star Wars Adventures Tales from Vader's Castle 1, 2, 3, and 5
Hey,
are where we're
there you go.
seeing them. So
That's oh man, I feel like I've missed out on Legends material after you just read those titles. It's like, damn, that sounds so
yeah, so this
exciting.
is some comic book stuff going on here.
All right, I
Um
think B
and
tier's good. You
yeah,
know what? I'm gonna put them right next to the Magma Troopers, because why not? I mean, these guys like fighting
that's
on
true.
overly hot planets that have liquid surfaces, so they should be together on our tier list.
Yeah, I mean, you
Okay,
got a magma trooper, then you have a lava trooper. They go
right.
together,
I
right?
mean, magma, lava, completely two
Magma's
different things,
underground,
right?
lava is above ground. So hey,
Hey,
that's the only difference.
I guess. Okay.
That is
Uh,
the only difference. Scientifically, I know that.
Thank you. That's why we keep Nick on the show, because he actually is intelligent. All right. First order heavy assault. So these guys, they got like a magazine vest on them, Nick. They carry around the big ass, like in our days, we would call it like an M60. It's not
Mhm.
necessarily an E-web type of cannon, but it definitely needs put on a tripod to be shot. We got to see these guys in the TFA when Finn and Poe are trying to escape. He comes out there, he's like da 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 da. So they look very much like first order troopers, but they're just geared out more. They got way more ammo on them, and they've got a big, or a BFG, as we like to say in the Doom universe.
Yeah, BFG for sure. So, um, yeah, I mean these guys they definitely have like a high level of combat effectiveness, but they are relatively stationary, like you said. If
Oh
they
yeah,
they can they technically can fire the gun if they're holding it, but they move extremely slow or just are completely immobile if they are. And then they do have that stationary turret, like you were mentioning, that gives them a little bit more accuracy in their aim. I'm leaning towards A tier on these guys because they can lay down some pretty hefty fire, but I could see an argument to maybe move them down to B depending on what your thoughts are.
Oh man, I didn't know you were such a homer for the First Order Trooper design. It's kind of surprising. Kind of surprising.
I do like the First Order Trooper design
Yeah.
in general.
Oh, I can
I
tell. I
enjoy
can
it.
tell. I can tell. Definitely. You might have got a few more checks from Disney than I have at this point in time, because
You know, they're
I
sending me
can't.
a little extra on the
Yeah.
side.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad to learn of it now live on air. But I don't know. I can't put this dude in A. There's no way.
Okay,
So I
okay,
guess we'll agree
okay.
on B. I mean, I could put him down in C because he looks lethargic, just standing there. I mean, he kind of
He
looks
just
like a
looks.
bozo in the shot. You know what I mean? He's just like, he's got.
I could see it. I can see it. If you want to go C tier, I will not argue. I will not argue.
Yeah, you know what? Screw this guy. I don't like him. I don't go like it. All C tier now is this First Order variants. I'm digging it. Okay. Next up, First Order. I guess this one's technically Legends because I think he was only invented for Batuu or to be sold at Galaxy's Edge, and it is the First Order. Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're called Mountain Troopers. So they do have a very distinct helmet.
Yep.
Their armor is different. You could argue they're as close as looking to a shore trooper as we got in the sequel trilogy era, so they do have that going for them. I'm definitely
Yeah.
higher up on these mountain troopers than the other ones I just took a poop on, Nick. So what do you think about the mountain bro?
Yeah, definitely inspired by the Shore Trooper. If you get a close up look at this guy, it is the Mountain Trooper, First Order Mountain Trooper. Variant of First Order, notably deployed on Batuu. Armor reminiscent of old Imperial Coastal Defender Troopers, so those Shore Troopers. I do think that these guys are definitely higher than the standard First Order variants. They look like they have a little bit more combat readiness. They're a little bit more mobile. I could see them in B tier, maybe high B tier, given the fact that they do have like a cooler looking helmet than standard First Order Troopers. So that's my thought there. Maybe like mid high B tier.
All right. Well, you know us, Nick. We just got a super chat, so I'm going to go ahead and completely stop the momentum of the tier list rank and honor those that shower us with cashola. So, Based and Brazen, we love you. We will read your comment here. I may not agree with it, but I will read it. Off topic, but I'm listening to High Republic books, and I kind of wish we just got the books made live action over Acolyte. The OT soundtrack plays as well. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I've tried to read, like I've given it 2 cracks at reading.
Apparently listening is the way to go.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and I'm not like a book listener, but maybe I have to. But I gave 2 cracks at first Light of the Jedi, the first High Republic book, and I just like it just didn't do it for me. And again, it's like the first book of an entire like publishing run, so maybe I just need to suffer through and get to Dark Force Rising or whatever it was called, Dark Rise. I know that there, or Dark Storm, something like that. But I have to get through that first one. But I don't know, man. I think that the Acolyte set up some very interesting things. You know, like, was it a perfect TV show? No, obviously. I think that there is a lot of room for improvement. But I do think that like the base storyline and the characters that we were introduced to in the Acolyte were super, super interesting.
Come here, we love you.
Kamir, we love you.
All right.
Vernestra, we love you too. You're a fucked up Jedi, girl. I want to know more about you. So,
well, not today, young Nick. Not today. So there you go. Based and Brazen. Love you, buddy. Thank you. All right. Anyways, Mountain Boy. Yeah, B tier. There he goes. Okay, next one we got Legends here, and I love this guy. I mean, it's hard not to love him. Looks very much like a scout trooper, but Nick, I learned these are called Storm Commandos. If you want to look that one up, Storm Commandos. So they're kind of scout, like OT era scout trooper looking, but their armor is completely like washed out. It's almost like the elite troopers from the Bad Batch era, but even darker. Nick, if you're looking at images, I'm assuming you're seeing the one that looks like Super Scoundrel's artwork, and it may be his that someone stole. But those are kind of the images I was looking up for Storm Commando. So again, Scout Trooper, but with like a very like dark gray paint job. And their names
Yeah.
are Storm Commandos, which just takes them up a notch in my book. So what do you think about these dudes?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are pretty sick looking, if I'm
Yeah,
being honest with you. Like
yeah.
these are like some of the coolest true like scout variants that we've seen, in my opinion. They have what looks like a a standard blaster and a flamethrower. So these guys can do some pretty heavy damage from afar and up close. I'm leaning towards like S tier with these dudes. I think these dudes are badass looking.
All right.
So
Nick, I don't know if you can see the stream right now, but I've got the one that I'm pretty sure is Devin's pulled up. Devin, are you still listening? Is that your art that someone jacked? Can we? That'd be a fun little show nugget. You see it
yeah,
though,
I mean,
Nick?
honestly,
I mean, it's like his
I do
style
see
to a
it.
T. So,
Yeah, I do see it.
all right, yeah. Anyways, I'm with you, man. I love this guy. I mean, Scout Trooper base, and then the cooler paint job, and a bigger arsenal. So I can S tier
Yeah,
that dude for sure. All right, we got another
definitely. I mean,
Legends.
this
Is it
for
his?
sure.
I
Yeah,
know it.
go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
know it's like not his page, but I think it's his art that someone
Yeah, I mean, it
jacked.
looks exactly like the stuff that Devin does. So it
Yeah,
could
welcome
just
to
be
the
that
internet.
somebody stole it. Yeah.
All right, this one, Nick, is actually called a forest trooper, a forest trooper here that we are looking at. I know the picture's not great. I think it comes from a video game potentially. I forget which one, but it's they kind of look like the clone scout troopers, but their armor is fully camoed out. You know what I mean? I mean, kind of like
I know that
Breeze.
Devin did a good version of this one as well. Like,
Okay.
I believe so. And in fact, I think one of our artistic friends did one of the Force Trooper that made it look about as badass as you
Did you
could
say one of our
imagine.
autistic friends
Um,
or artistic friends?
the one that we're looking at here is so I mean, it's essentially Scout Trooper variant that has the camo like you were mentioning, like high degree of camouflage. Obviously, we love the Scout Trooper variant to start with. I don't think it's as cool looking as the one that we just talked about, that like black elite Scout Trooper variant. I'm leaning towards a like a higher A tier, mid A tier on these guys, because I really do like the camo, but it doesn't quite crack as high as that all black
Yeah, it
variant.
really it's a bad image overall. They don't have a lot to kind of look at, so I'm not really going to argue here. I'm good moving this guy up to A. Just
Yeah.
for, I mean, he's got a cool paint job if anything. All right, we're kind of winding
Yeah.
down here. If you just tuned in, we're tier list ranking trooper variants from the Mandoverse era, sequel trilogy, and Star Wars Legends. We've gone through way more than half the list. We're rounding home here. And up next, we have Dark Trooper Phase 1, Nick. Dark Trooper Phase 2. I'm sorry. Dark Trooper Phase 2, if you want to look them up. They're still kind of robotic looking. I think the closest we got to them, and something some people may have seen, are those white combat droids you saw the Bad Batch fight in season 1 of the Bad Batch. But these are Legends characters, so they're I don't think they're as cool looking as Phase 0. They're definitely not as cool looking and as competent as Phase 3. But there is some sort of like robotic version of a bulky stormtrooper in there that I do dig a little bit.
Yeah, it's like they almost look like they almost look yeah, I don't know. It's hard to describe, like skinny gorilla, like almost like super big upper body, tiny waist.
Yeah.
My thought here is C tier for these guys, because they just almost look funny to me. The proportions are all off. Their head looks
they're not
weird as
great.
fuck.
They're not great. Yeah, C tier is fine for Phase 2. So then we'll move to Phase 1, and
Oof,
these
guys
are hot garbage, man. I mean, they truly
yeah.
look like they look fully on like robots. There's zero homage to what a stormtrooper looks like none. They're so generic looking, and they look like anyone could take them out. I don't even know if you need
Yeah,
a
yeah.
weapon to take these guys out. I think you could just be like, "Hey, there's a power plug over there," and they would turn around and you could run away. So I'm not very high on Phase 1 Dark Troopers from Legends.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm putting these guys in cannon fodder.
Yeah.
They really
Okay.
do
Yeah.
look like
I'm
cannon
with you.
fodder.
I'm with you.
Like
Yeah. They're
super.
pretty junky. Pretty junky.
Yeah. You
All
can
right.
see why they were phase 1.
This next one, this could be the fight I was holding on to trade or Nick's Trader S tier rank, but we're talking about the OG Shadow Trooper. Okay, all black Stormtrooper with silver accents in the mouth and eyepieces. It's a fantastic Legends type of Stormtrooper. He's got the OG
Yeah.
Stormtrooper look, but he's all black, so I don't think you can really beat that. Easy S tier for me, but I always let young Nick weigh his mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that like we put the OG Stormtrooper in S
Hey, thanks,
tier,
Keely.
and then like the objectively cooler looking one doesn't go in S tier. I
Yeah.
can't fight you on it. All black Stormtrooper variant, silver
All
accents.
right.
I mean, they gotta
you.
go in S tier. Like
Thank
they
you,
just
my
gotta
friend.
go. I can't even make an argument.
Thank you, my friend. All right. Well, that was the right answer after all. That was the right answer after all. Okay, so S tier for the Shadow Trooper. Too bad Bat's not here. That's the one he wanted to hear about last week. But we're moving on. We are going to the Sith Trooper. Not Sith Jet Trooper, but Sith Trooper. And these guys did fundamentally look different from their First
Yeah.
Order Trooper counterparts. They got that all red armor with the black jumpsuit underneath. They had badass looking guns. Their helmet's pretty fantastic looking. I was definitely high on the Sith Troopers, even though they mostly were just cannon fodder. Like
Most troopers.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, that's just it's called movies, people. The good guys are usually
Yeah.
gonna win. So, but I out of all the First Order stuff and sequel trilogy stuff, these are probably my favorite trooper variant coming out of there. So, what say you?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I really like the all red with the black accent. We've talked about it before. Like we already have some of the Sith Trooper variants in A tier. I think these guys crack S tier, like S tier, like bottom to mid section of it, but they were cool as hell looking. They're definitely cooler looking than base First Order Troopers, in my opinion. I think they deserve that S tier.
Yeah, that red and black is strong. It's strong. So S tier they go. Sith Troopers. Well, we got two more Sith Troopers to talk about here. They're both from Legends. Nick, the one you would have come across
OGs
in Swago or maybe even
Yeah.
SWOTOR, right? Aren't these like the Sith tank troopers? I mean, they were a tank unit in Swago, so that's why I'm putting it in there. But were they in SWOTOR? I mean, these guys are pretty cool looking. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they got kind of cylinder S type of helmets. They got red or black armor with red accents.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember if they were in SWOTOR. I think they were. No, okay, they were definitely in. Were they in Force Unleashed? Maybe I'm trying to remember where these guys popped up in games because. No, they were in SWOTOR. They were in
Okay.
SWOTOR, Old Republic. So I mean they're definitely a cool looking
Look
variant.
at that fucking helmet, man. I mean, it's almost
The helmet
like
is
like Japanese samurai looking. Like that. There's a
Yeah.
face you see in there that's like, you know how they'd wear like those kabuki masks. I mean, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, dude. Like I love the image that you use of it too. If you pull it up, it's Sith tank.
I've got the
Trooper.
big
Just
one
look
up for everyone. So
there we go. Okay, yeah, it's a lot easier to see there. I mean, these guys look fucking awesome. I gotta say S tier, man. Like this is one of the coolest
yeah,
Sith Trooper variants that we've seen, and it
Yeah.
does have that like Japanese inspiration.
yeah, you're not wrong. I would like a Hot Toys of that. Now that the more I look at it, so I'm with you, dude. S tier it is. Welcome. Good for you, Legends homie. Well, here's more Legends homies, and these are Sith Troopers, and these are KOTOR Sith Troopers, and they're literally
Yeah.
just dudes in shiny red or shiny like silver armor, right? So
Yeah,
I mean they're pretty basic, dude.
They're pretty basic, dude. And honestly, I think that these just straight look bad. Like
Yeah.
They don't look cool. I'm leaning like C tier to cannon fodder
Yeah,
on these
this
dudes.
is
Like
like
the
kind of Star Trek-y looking villain stuff. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's like they didn't. It looks like they did not put any effort into designing the armor for these guys. They were just like, just make it as flat as possible with no discerning features other
Yeah,
than color.
cannon
Like
fodder. Yeah, screw it.
cannon fodder, it is.
Yeah, and they're so generic. I mean, they're just even I can remember them in game. They're generic as hell. All
Yeah,
right,
they are.
these next one, everyone, you might have missed these guys from the Rise of Skywalker. They're definitely on Exegol in there where Zombie Teen was hooked up. They're called Sovereign Protectors.
Hmm.
And they're all in red, so that they got some Imperial Guard type of vibes, but their helmet is more Sith trooperish. But again, it's almost like the Mountain First Order Trooper helmet, but red and black. And then they got very long capes, like shoulder to floor type of capes. They are pretty cool looking, but I'm pretty sure Rey takes them out in like 2 blaster bolts or like blaster bolt deflections, and they're gone in seconds, which, you know, she's a dyad. So I guess there's that. But these Sovereign Protectors, if anything, Nick, they look cool. They look cool.
Yeah, I mean they look cool, not super combat effective. Honestly, like I'm kind of like usually you would say if you put a cape on something that's already cool, it makes it cooler. But I kind of feel like the
Cape's
cape on
killing
this
it,
one,
huh? It's
yeah, it doesn't.
detracting.
It's not as cool as
F that
just like
cape.
the base level Sith trooper. So I'm saying like A tier for these guys. I think they still do look cool. Their helmet variant is interesting, but it almost gives it like an like an Aztec type of vibe because it is more like angular and square, almost similar to like Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple or something like that. So
There you
my
go.
lean is A tier here.
Okay. Yeah, I just pulled up a bigger version for everyone. I think when we do this again, I agree. It's not a great viewing experience. So I'm going to have to figure out. I'm either going to have 50 tabs open to look at each one or just queue up like a slide deck. So, hey, guess what? More work for me for this show. Yay. But yeah, Nick, I think these guys can go up into A for their looks alone. We got 2 to go here, people. We're almost done. Then we'll move on to the fan segment and put episode, what are we at, 361, 360 to bed. We do too many of these. All right. Another First Order Trooper variant from the Resistance series. So most people probably missed them. I know I definitely did. But these, Nick, these are, hold on. I got to get the name correct because they are tech Stormtroopers. So they wear the First Order Trooper garb, but then they have like this radio pack on their back, and they just sit at a console. So to me, they're looking like they want to join some of these Dark Trooper, Sith Troopers, and Resistance Troopers down in the old cannon fodder range.
Yeah, like to me, it's like C tier cannon fodder. I don't know if they're just like if they're tech troopers and all they're doing. I mean, I guess that is like a tech backpack that they're wearing.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was like little missiles that they could shoot out of the back of it.
It's like
but
a radio pack. Yeah.
It's like it's the guy on the radio. It's like, hey guys, my console's not working over here. Can you please
I mean,
update
Nick,
the software?
These are literally IT guy Stormtroopers.
Oh my God, they're cannon fodder.
Yes,
Cannon fodder.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. Just put a regular dude to fix your IT. Why do you got to get them all kitted out in trooper armor? Come on.
Yeah, it's like I don't need the helmet to say unplug it and plug it back in. Okay.
All right, we've made it to the end. We've ranked 36 trooper variants from the Mandoverse sequel and Legends eras. And now the last one, the best for last. This is one of the wonkiest things I've ever seen. But Nick, may I present to you the 0G Assault Stormtrooper that literally looks like it's a chibi variant of a Stormtrooper jammed into a Hulkbuster. It's like a Hulkbuster Stormtrooper, but a miniature version.
I was going to say, it kind of looks like a Hulkbuster mixed with Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's silly. Look at that thing.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and a fucking Hulkbuster armor. It's wild looking, dude. The face on this thing is hilarious. It looks like it just has a permanent frown.
Yeah, he's pissed off. He's angry. He's like, yeah, I don't want to be 0G Assault.
Like, because of how fucking weird this looks. I kind of want
There
to
is
put
some
it
charm.
high just because
Yeah.
it just looks so fucking funny. But I also want to put it in cannon fodder because I could just see this G trooper just sitting there and rotating upside down, not being able to control where
Hey
it goes in space.
guys, someone help me.
Yeah, it's like, can somebody pull me the right way, please?
Yeah, look at that dude.
I'm gonna say
a
it's
gem.
like I'm gonna say that this guy is I'm gonna say that this guy's A tier, but I'm open to placing it wherever you feel like.
I love it.
Know.
You know what? We're gonna keep him A tier just to troll our own list. Like that. Honestly, we're trolling our own list. I'm doing it. Fuck it. That guy is awesome looking because of how stupid he is. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
There we go. We did it. We made it through our part 2 of our Stormtrooper tier rank off. Part 1 was last week. Check it out on YouTube or podcast platforms. In that episode, we broke down 40 variants from the prequels in the timeline that goes all the way through Return of the Jedi. This week, we just took 37 more spanning Mando, sequel, and Legends eras. So here we go, real quick to recap, just our S tier and cannon fodder. In S tier, we got Dark Trooper Phase 3, the Undead Death Trooper, Traitor, Nick's favorite, the Imperial Commando, Shadow Trooper, Sith Trooper, Storm Commando, and Sith Trooper SWTOR. Cannon fodder, we got the Crowd Control Chump, the Resistance Trooper Chump, Dark Trooper Phase 1, Sith Trooper KOTOR, and Nick's favorite, IT guy, First Order Stormtrooper. So before we go to the fan segment real quick, Nick, let's see how the fans voted. We always produce a poll for the fans to get in. Not many do. But when they want their voices heard, we will read it out. So the fans, their S tier is Undead Death Trooper, Magma Trooper, Dark Trooper Phase 0, Night Trooper, Sith Trooper, Imperial Commando, Sith Trooper SWTOR, Sith Trooper KOTOR. What? That's it. You guys are getting no more tier list ranks for the fans after that. All right, cannon fodder, 0G Assault and cannon fodder. Come on, don't be mean to that guy. You never know what his problems may be. Man. First Order Snow Trooper, Resistance Trooper, They Can Fly Now Jet Trooper, and the Force Trooper. The fans all put in cannon fodder. So there you have it. Wow. We made it through another tier list rank off. Don't forget, next week we'll be back. No more tiers, at least for a week. Next week, though, we're going to take a critical eye and turn it towards the maker himself, George Lucas.
Oh, no.
What are some of the biggest mistakes he made that fans may still talk about today? But before that, before we end this episode, we got our fan segment. We do it every week. There's 2 ways to get involved. We got Question of the Week, which you just got to be following us on our socials to find the prompts and then respond to it. So make sure you're liking our content, turning on notifications for our content. Otherwise, the AI overlords will not let you see it. And then we have our top 5 Star Wars fan artist features, which young Nick curates. And this is all done through Instagram. Use the hashtag Star Wars Time Show. And more importantly, ad tag at Star Wars Time Show. All right, Nick, let me get the screens pulled up. While I'm doing that, you can go ahead and introduce this week's question, which is always going to be themed after our main topic.
That is right. So this week's question of the week is, what is your favorite trooper variant from the Mandoverse, sequel trilogy, or Legends eras? All right. First up, we have Mando Pirate. He's here. He's saying the zombie death trooper. And we agree with you, Mando Pirate. We agree with you. Good stuff there. Next up, Michael Kramer, Mac122198 says Sith Trooper from SWTOR.
Oh, the one we liked. Okay, good.
The one we like. The one we like.
I thought he was putting the KOTOR ones up there. I was like, Kramer, we're going to have a talk in Discord later. But okay, that's fair enough. All right, Kramer, good job.
Sith Trooper from SWTOR. Phil says, I love the First Order Raiders
Make
from
sure
Resistance.
to proofread it first.
Yes. I thought that was a pretty unique armor and love that they were the special squad looking for Sith relics. Yeah, man. I mean, I really do wish that we got it a little bit more into like the Sith relics, Sith, history side of things in live action Star Wars. Maybe one day.
I mean, but there's still decades of storytelling to be told unless Dave and John are like, yeah, screw it, we're done. So yeah. All right, thank you, Phil, as always. Phil's definitely become an all-star on the YouTube front. Okay, I like that.
Although, Phil's always there on the YouTube. Appreciate the support.
He's doing this in his free time. Other words,
maybe maybe Phil probably remembers. We were writing a Star Wars book together at one time. We had an idea that we had, and we were writing some stuff
Just
together.
make sure you're
that
the
front.
one writing the words and he's the one coming up with the science. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
All in good fun,
right,
Phil. All in good fun.
We got VIR Melior 1 on Instagram. They say Shock Trooper, Shadow Trooper, Purge Trooper, Dark Trooper, Death Trooper, Artillery Trooper, Space Trooper, Nova Trooper, Snow Trooper. That's their rankings.
I don't even know what era they're in, but we speak your name and thanks for playing along.
Thank you, Veer Melior 1. Next up, we got League of Extraordinary Sixers. She says Zombie Trooper. Yes, of course. Of course that is up there. Nova Toymation says Dark Trooper is so cool. They got their own music. That's right. And then GT Arts Fet says Scout Trooper and Scout Trooper Dark variant made it up into our S tier as well. So boom, there we go.
It counts.
It counts. Thank you all for getting involved in the question of the week. Like Matt said, Instagram follow at StarWarsTime.show shows up there. YouTube community follow there, and then our Discord. You can join from our Instagram profile link. Open link available. We have some good stuff there. That is where I drop the new little AI videos that I've been messing with. The newest one I just dropped is a hyper realistic battle, space wizard battle. So check it out on our Discord. Now we are moving into the top 5 Star Wars fan artist features of the week. Same things. Follow us at StarWarsTime.show and tag us at StarWarsTime.show on all of your Star Wars Instagram art posts. That's how you get into the tagged feed, and that's where I pull the top 5 from. So to kick off the top 5 this week, we have Toys for Shots. Toys for, oh no, wait, this is last week. Sorry. We have the new one.
There you go.
New one here. First up is Calro Debro. Pulled a false start on my end. Calro Debro giving us a look at our good buddy Kel Naka from the Acolyte, Wookiee in meditation on the mountains. Kel Naka before his unfortunate demise at the hands of Khmer, looking very peaceful in meditation on the mountains of his homeland.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, this is a pretty good looking Wookiee figure. It finally is a Wookiee figure that just is not a retread of Chewbacca. You know, they kind of gave him that longer beard, the braids in the beard, the little ponytail there, and of course he's wearing a Jedi tunic. So unfortunately, we never got Hot Toys from the Acolyte, which is a bummer. Would have loved a Khmer and possibly a Wookiee Jedi. But good looking shot here from Calro_Debro on Instagram. Up next, Nick.
That's right. Up next, we got Tones.
I think he even made it
chat
from a 14-hour
shift.
He
made it out here.
He's not sitting on the shitter. He's here. He's ready to be honored.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
He's looking for his praise, and we're giving it to him. Tones is giving us the awesome
miniatures.
Dude, I
by
love
the way,
it.
these are miniatures.
That's crazy,
yeah,
man.
This is Micro Galaxy Squadron.
Dang. Crazy stuff. So what Tones has given us is an overhead view of the AT-AT takedown from ESB.
So cool.
Battle of Hoth. You see the snow trooper coming around with its tow cable wrapping around the legs of the AT-AT, soon to be fallen. You see a couple of snow speeders off to the side as well. One of them in flames, about to hit the snow. I mean, awesome perspective shot here from Tones.
It really is just a very well put together shot, and a lot of it is Photoshop effects. Like those snow speeders, that's all Tones adding in, and they look great.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he's got the right blur on them. The fact he got the tow cable going. I mean, that's some awesome Photoshop work there, Tones. But really, it all started with the good snap. I love the kind of the top down angle, the shadow underneath the AT-AT. Excellent stuff from our buddy, our what do we call him? He's like our senior fan. You know what I mean? He's even beats my old ass. So we appreciate Tones1138 giving them a follow on Instagram.
That's right. Next up, we have 1/6 lovers, 1/6_lovers. Dark Luke, just awesome close-up shot of this Dark Luke figure. I mean, this is some true legend stuff where we're talking about Luke, the clone of Luke that was used as
Luke.
dumb, dude. Exactly.
It's a clone of Luke. Let's
But
call him Luke.
Luke. I mean, sick looking. You have the Sith eyes, the yellow and red Sith eyes. The hair on this figure looks insanely
Oh, it's
realistic.
artisan edition, so it's real hair, real hair.
Oof.
There
Just
you go.
crazy,
Tones has
crazy looking stuff.
Tones has the right word. He's the veteran. He's a veteran.
Veteran.
SWTS.
That's right. He's the vet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, awesome looking figure here. Super realistic. I love the armor. I love the lightsaber variant that he's using as well. Just cool looking all around.
Yeah, this guy would have kicked the living shit out of Darth Vader. I mean, let's be real. It's
yeah,
like if Luke broke bad in peak form and didn't have anything but a fake hand, he would have been the guy that Palpatine really wanted. I have this one on pre-order, not with the real hair, but I am digging it. I'm kind of glad I ended up taking a flyer on Dark Luke. So 1/6 lovers, they seem to either work at a distributor of Hot Toys or just get them super early. If you want to see Hot Toys that probably haven't released in the States yet, make sure you're following 1/6 lovers account on Instagram.
There we go.
Here's another.
Next
just
up,
geez, man, the amount of quality that these people put out now with plastic Star Wars toys is getting ridiculous.
It is. It's crazy. This
Look at
is
this
from
shit.
Quick Picks Toys, and it is a full like shot and scene recreation.
Did he build this set? Like I don't know. Like
Dude,
how you getting them to sit down and all that? Like what's going on here, Nick?
You can see. So what we're looking at here is the chamber in the beginning of A New Hope, where it is announced that the Senate has been dissolved. Vader comes in. This is the hokey religion scene.
Oh yeah,
where he chokes out, the guy who's talking. Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's the guy who talks shit to Vader. He's like, your hokey religion has no place in our technological terror society. Full recreation. Table, chairs, everybody is sat down. You can even see Krennic over there on the side. I'm pretty sure he wasn't there.
It's Admiral Mahdi.
Okay,
I had to make sure, but it is.
But I mean, I love the setup. The setup is incredibly detailed.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man, just all around good stuff by Quick Picks Toys.
I cannot tell what is practical and what is digital, and I know there has to be a mix. So kudos to Quick Pick Toys. This thing is unbelievably composed.
Yeah, beautiful work. And then the final member of the top 5 this week is Black Series Natural Light, and this is a scene that we talk about often, Matt. The death of Ayla Secura on
we got
Felicia.
That bitch, got her good. Now let's take her shiny sword thing.
Yeah, so we're looking at
that's Bly.
We're looking at Bly, Commander Bly, and then his fellow trooper at his side.
They're smoking their cigar after murdering Secura here.
Yeah, her body just laying on the ground here. The natural fauna or flora of Felucia all around, and they're just holding her lightsaber like. They're like, look at this. We got this lightsaber. Now. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I just see Bly like going like this, like. Yeah. Hey boys, these things are pretty cool, right?
Yeah, like you said, using it to light their cigars off.
Yeah,
so boom, there we go. So, I mean, awesome setup here from Black Series Natural Light. You get all of this awesome looking flora around there. You have the body of Ayla Secura on the ground, Bly holding the lightsaber, and then obviously his fellow clone trooper right next to him, looking at the work that they have done. So, excellent setup here from Black Series Natural Light.
That's right, Nick.
That
brings us to the end, right? All right.
That's it. That's the end of the top 5, and that's the end of our show for this week. Thanks again to Dubby for the sponsorship. If you want some jitterless energy drink, go to dubby.gg, use the code SWTS at checkout for a nice little discount. So Matt, go ahead and close us out.
No problem, young Nick. It was a great show. I definitely appreciate this space you guys kind of let me hang out in for a few hours to kind of get away from the world. I feel way better than I did going into SWTS. So, hopefully this dumb stuff and the goofy things we talk about, the bad takes, the good takes, the hot takes, hopefully it gives you a couple hours of reprieve each week to get away from whatever nightmare is stewing around in your gray matter. Because as we like to say, and as we've aptly named ourselves, there's always time for Star Wars time. And if you are looking for a podcast for a more uncivilized age, you've come to the right place. We get a little funky. We get a little colorful with our language. But I'll tell you what, we're never going to shit on you for your opinions unless they are garbage and attacking other people. We are here to celebrate the Maker's creation one time a week, even though the people that are in charge of his creation now don't feel like creating in it or celebrating it much. That's why there's always time for Star Wars Time. And if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, if you watch the Star Wars Time Show live stream, the Force will be with you always.